Hey, Isaac. So you don't like to sharpen?
I'm just scared.
Well, we
What
got
if
something new.
What if I mess it up?
This takes all the guesswork out of it. Let's light it up. So there are a lot of different sharpening methods, and we've got a few here on the table. We've got, just a traditional stone. This is a dual grit stone, so it's going to be, rougher and smoother on one side. So we've also got, just a stone right here on this side, and then a ceramic on this side of this work sharp here. And there's actually a lot of people that grew up sharpening knives on a ceramic mug, like on the bottom of this Come and Take It mug right here from Papa Bear Knives. And that's actually a legit sharpening method that a lot of people have used throughout the years. I can remember my papa doing that. But now, a lot of people are afraid to start sharpening, or maybe they're just really bad at it. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely the case when it comes to something like just a freestanding stone, because when you're talking about sharpening a knife, you want consistent angles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a couple of years ago, WorkSharp came out with a precision adjust, and really revolutionary as far as its affordability and its ability to maintain consistency. Now we've got the new WorkSharp Precision Adjust Pro, and this is kind of a game changer when it comes to WorkSharp and their Precision Adjust series. So let's go over the features. First of all, looking at it, feeling of it, what do you think about it?
Well, I think it is a lot bigger than this one.
Yes.
It's even got mounts to put it on a table.
So you can mount it to a table. It does have, so the base of it is metal, so it gives it a little bit more weight as well, and that adds to the stability. It's also rubberized on the bottom, so it's not going to slide. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's just, it's a solid package.
Well, let me start from the beginning here.
And you've got the precision adjust.
I have this one. Starting into sharpening, into the comments below, if this guy didn't know how to sharpen when he was born. No, I didn't. I didn't know how to sharpen when I was born. But I eventually had to learn. But when I try to watch videos of people trying to teach, it's a lot easier to teach it than actually do it, I feel like.
Yes.
When people are always explaining, hold it at a 45-degree angle. I don't know what a 45-degree angle is with my eyes. I'm not that gifted. I can do other things. I can't do that. But when this came out, the Precision Adjust, it really helped with that part of it. And
because you can get it close enough.
You can show them on that camera where like the degrees are on it.
So you can see the degree graduations there, and you can adjust it here, and you can get close. You can get really close with your angle. But one thing that's nice is with that being static mounted is you're going to have the consistency that you need. Mm. And that's more important than getting the degree exactly right. You can always reprofile a blade. You might not have the cutting geometry that is optimal, but it's still going to get it sharp.
I think it should be fair to talk about the evolution of this Precision Adjust, because this part right here used to be all that it came with.
Yes.
And then they graduated to,
they've got the extra pieces right here with the whole kit. So you've got the different pieces that you can add onto it, and you've got the different grits. So you've got 220, 320, 420, and then you've also got your strop right there as well, which made it a really cohesive unit.
The strop. And one thing really cool with WorkSharp, and you've noticed this too, is they really listen to their customer feedback.
They do, absolutely, and that's actually what's led.
That's what started,
to this new generation. And we want to go over. So we've had this one. We've been playing with this one for a while now. WorkSharp sent this one to us about a month and a half ago, and so we've been playing with it, getting used to it. And I gotta say, they've really done a bang-up job on this, expounding on the Precision Adjust, but also correcting maybe some of its flaws, but at the same time making the things that it does well a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go over the features of this thing. So you're going to have a very similar setup. You're going to have your graduations right here, and then you can dial that in here. Now this piece here is going to be static mounted and screwed in right here. So it's not going to be magnetic like it was before. And so you've got a full range of motion right there. And you'll see that there's two different sets of graduations. One for the table, which we're going to show in just a minute, which is this piece right here. And then one for the clamp, which is this side here. And here's the neat thing about this. So one downfall to that, the precision adjust, was that if you had, say, a really wide blade, like on this ZT right here, that's going to change the angle because it's going to be set off of the clamp more so than something like this fixed blade from Weatherford right here. That's a big difference when you're talking about that. So that's going to make that angle drastically different. And if you're trying to get a precise angle, precision adjust, then you want to be able to really tell exactly the angle. So as we set this up, I'm actually going to take this condor that we used in our Will It Cut series that still hasn't been, I haven't actually sharpened this one back and gotten an edge back on it. So we're going to take that in there, and we're going to put that in the clamp. I'm going to loosen it up right there. Now, another cool thing is they've made this clamp spring-loaded so that it will hold the knife in there so that you can tighten it down then.
That's a nice new feature.
Absolutely.
It already looks, too, like one of the issues I kind of had with this one where it's pretty lightweight. I always had to keep my hand on the base.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, it would kind of...
It would start walking on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That one, well, if it slides, it's going to be rare, but it's got like a rubberized bottom.
Yeah.
But if you don't want it to slide at all, like I said earlier, you can just bolt that sucker down.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm going to start off with this one with the 220, and that's another thing that they've done with this is they've made it magnetic, and they've got these little knobs right here to set it in place, and that way it's not going to move once you get it set in place properly.
I like that a lot better than switching these sticks out every time.
And this one's also bigger, so it's going to be able to accommodate bigger blades. We've got this nice big fixed blade right here from Condor, and this is also going to be able to do like kitchen knives and stuff like that, whereas you might be a little bit limited on like an 8-inch chef's knife on the precision adjust. The Pro model is going to be a lot easier to get bigger blades out there. You can still adjust the length that you've got here with these rubber pieces on the rod, so you can make sure that you're not at any point going off the blade. But then once we determine, and I'm going to look right here at my angle, and I'm going to get that, you can actually just dial that in if you want to just by eyeballing it, or if you've got a specific angle that you want to set it at, you can get it close right here on the graduations. And then they've also included this digital gauge, and what you'll do with that digital gauge, I'll show you here, is you'll set it on a flat surface, you'll turn it on. Now you can see that this is zeroed out right now, but if it's not, like say you've got it on a different surface, you can see right there that it changes as you move it. Go ahead and zero it out on a flat surface. We've got it zeroed now. We can bring our work sharp back in, and it will magnetize to the rod right there, and it'll get an exact angle. So right there we're looking at 15 degrees. Now you can see, because of the blade right there, this is actually a little bit different than the graduation. So that's going to get us close. Now I'm going to dial this in where I want it, and I'm going to want that one to be a little bit less. Because this is that type of grind, I am actually going to eyeball it right there and see where I've got it, see where I want it, and it looks like I'm going to want it right about there, and that's going to put it right at about 13 degrees. So that's where I'm going to have this one in particular. Then you can take that digital gauge off, you can turn it off, and set it off to the side, and then you can get started. So, and you can still do the same motions with this that you did with the precision adjust. And then, like if I want to do a couple of passes like this, and you can tell that's really gritty because, I mean, we cut steel cable with this. And so we're already taking material off. And then when we want to swap this over, all we've got to do is stand this back up, and it is retained right there in the top. You can see right there, it's got a slot that it fits into that holds it in place. We can tilt this back, and we can turn that blade over. We can tilt it back down, and now we're going to keep that consistency on both sides, and it's going to be exactly the same. So I can begin making passes on this side, and you want to do the same amount of passes on each side. Now, as we go through the process, we're going to tilt it, flip it back over again. It's going to lock in place right there. And they've also, this is another thing that they've corrected, because if you put a lot of force on the precision adjust, it could flex. Now, we had our buddy Tim Shanks actually help us out with a 3D printed piece that held the old one in place. They've also corrected that in this model by putting this piece in right here. Now, here's something that's a little bit different. Say you've got a really small blade that doesn't fit into this clamp really well. Well, then what you can do is you can actually take the clamp out completely. We'll take that out, set it off to the side. We'll take this stabilizing piece right here, take it off, and then you've got your table that you can actually do pin blades on, and you can just slide that into place. Go ahead and lower this back down, and now I've got this Buck 310 right here that you can see, and it's got a really, really small pin blade. So then I can take this and I can set the angle based on this side over here. I can do the same thing I did before and check the angle. So right there I'm sitting at 14 degrees. I might raise it up. There's 14 and a half, 15 degrees right there. Set that one at 15 degrees. I can take this off, and then I can proceed with sharpening that small pin blade right there. Now you're not obviously going to need the entire length of this thing, but it gives you a lot of different options. And then we can take that off. We can progress through the grit. So we've got 220, we've got 320, we've got 400, we've got 600, we've got 800, we've got ceramic, and we've also got the strop right here. So once you're ready, you can just take that strop, pop it on right there. It's going to set in place nice and secure, and then we can start stropping. And on a blade like this, it's going to be really easy to just do passes right there. Then on this one, you've already got it set, and this magnet is going to hold it in place. So all you got to do is switch it over to the other side. It's going to be at the same angle because that table has not moved, and it's going to be really easy to swap sides with that. So we're talking about a comprehensive package that's going to take all the guesswork out of sharpening any size blade, no matter if it's, you know, a pin blade like this, a fixed blade like this Moore knife, or the other question we get is serrations. How do you manage that? Well, it's going to be very simple, and you can do a lot of different ways with this. It's going to be easier to do it with the clamp. But if we take our clamp right here, we're going to put that in. It's locked in place. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this knife and take it out. We can put this old CRKT in there with these VEF serrations. And what I'm going to do to make this a little bit easier,
I think Greg just wanted you to sharpen his knife.
I think he did, yeah. To make this a little easier, I'm going to set this up on an angle. I'm going to tighten it down right there. And then if you notice, on this piece right here, you've got actually the ceramic rod on the back side. And that's going to be really easy. You can just set those down in the serrations right there. Or, what's even easier is if you loosen this, take it out of the clamp, you can actually take this, and this is the way that I prefer, because if you take the plates off of this, the magnet will hold it in place if you get it in the right spot. And then you can actually set this right there, and you can use this to sharpen those serrations right there, just like that. And it's very simple, and you can go through each serrations. That's good for like a bread knife or something like that. or something like this with these VEF serrations, and you can go either way you want to, and that's going to sharpen those serrations up and be really nice and easy to use. And then once you're done, you can just stand it back up, set it in place right there. Really good just whole package right there. I really dig this. And like I said before, it's going to take all the guesswork out of sharpening your knife, and it's going to allow you to get a really precise, accurate angle, because there's a lot of people out there that really want to get a specific angle for a specific purpose. Like, you know, maybe you're a bushcrafter and you want a specific angle on
like a
Scandi grind. Or maybe you want to get, like, maybe you're a chef, you've got an 8-inch chef's knife, and you really want that 11-degree edge right there. It's going to be really slicey. You don't want, you know, a few degrees can really make a difference when it comes to something as precise as a chef's knife or something like that. EDC, you maybe want to set that to 17.5 degrees or right at 20 or 22 degrees, depending on what type of EDC knife that is, and if you're doing like really heavy cutting and need a lot of fat behind that edge to keep it from rolling or something like that. So this is going to give you that opportunity to get it really specific, really precise, and take all the guesswork out.
Yeah. And stay tuned. He's going to be bringing this back, and he's going to put a mirror polish on it.
What? Surprise! Guess what? We already filmed the video. We didn't want to redo the whole thing, so Isaac's probably going to drop this in somewhere. Surprise, you get me some more. So what happened was we got this new toy for us. It is a edge tester that we've been playing with, and when this came in, we decided to see who in the office had the sharpest knife. Well, our COO had the dullest knife with this Benchmade right here. And this one, like, used 900 or 890 grams of pressure to actually cut through the test media, which on their scale means that it is a severely rolled edge and in need of maintenance or repair. So then we thought, oh, that would be a good idea to test that on the new WorkSharp Pro. So we're going to go through, I'm actually going to do another edge test with this, and then we're going to sharpen it with the Precision Adjust Pro, and then we're going to go back to the edge test and see what we can get this to, just with, you know, quickly going through it with the WorkSharp Pro. So we're going to turn it on here. So here we are with his knife. Let's see what this thing gets. We ended up at 965 grams of pressure to get through that test media. And I mean, you can look at this blade and see that there are clearly some parts of the edge that have not been used at all, like this part right here. And then there's other parts of the edge, like right up in here, that have been used quite a lot. And so now we're going to see if we can get this edge nice and consistent and sharp all the way through. We really need to get that number down in the low 3s, high 2s for, you know, modern blade steel testing. So let's see what we can do with this WorkSharp Precision Adjust Pro. So what we did here was I just finished up on the Precision Adjust Pro, and then what I like to do myself, this is just me personally, I've got a nice leather strop from Lancelot Leather. I've got a little bit of Flex Cut Pro on there, and I'm just going to do a few passes on each side, on the rough side and on the really smooth side there, and then we're going to test it and see where we're at. All right, so we spent 15-20 minutes on this. In reality, it's CPM M4. You probably need to spend at least an hour getting this edge exactly how you want it and back to good. But we wanted to see, what it could do just spending a few minutes, putting it on their lick, and then retesting that edge. So after spending 15 or 20 minutes on it, let's take a look and see where we're at here. Now we're going to do this very slowly per recommendations. So we ended up at 450. That's significant improvement right there. Significant improvement. Remember before we were at 965 grams of pressure to get through that test media. Now we're at 450. So I imagine spending just a little bit more time on this is going to get it back where it needs to be. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. All right, folks, let us know in the comments down below what you think about this new Precision Adjust Pro right there. We are super excited. And if you have any questions about it, about how to use it, let us know in the comments down below. And as always, if it cuts like something that we've sharpened with Work Sharp and put a mirror polish on, then
not yet, but going to.
We carry it.
See you guys.